Morning. So today is day 2 of the safer at home order. It just got issued last night. I just got up, got dressed, and yes, I still do get up and get dressed every single morning as if I'm going somewhere. I can probably do a whole video about that, but anywho, the very first thing that I do every single morning is I turn on the news and I watch the coronavirus task force update from the White House. I've been doing that since they started doing this. It usually starts around 8:30 Pacific time, and it is now 9:05, and it is currently on my television. So that's what I'm about to do right now.
Weeks of China's notifying WHO about the virus, and with only 45 cases in China, we began screening travelers from Wuhan.
Okay, so a lot has happened this morning already. That's why I watch these breaking newscasts every morning. Apparently, I guess we are not allowing anyone not from America to come to America, is what I got from that. So no more immigrants coming from anywhere at this time. I've also come to understand that something happened in New York. I don't know if Governor Cuomo did like a safer at home order for New York, but I'm about to Google that right now because they keep talking about New York and what the governor did this morning. That was a difficult decision is what they stated. So I'm going to look that up, and then they are showing pictures of people in Florida hanging out on the beach, like live pictures of people in Florida just chilling, as if the world is not in a pandemic right now. If you are one of those people who are just chilling on the beach in Florida, you need to get your life together and go home. So yes, New York has issued a stay-at-home order, and I'm still watching the news right now, and a reporter just asked President Trump if he feels that there will be a national stay-at-home order issued, and President Trump says, quote, "I don't think so," unquote. Okay, so the press conference just ended. It is almost 10:30. It was like almost a 2-hour press conference this morning. There was a lot that America wanted to discuss. But apparently the top 3 things that came from that press conference is that President Trump invoked the Defense Production Act, and he has instructed some companies to start making medical supplies. And that means that companies that normally don't make medical supplies, they now have to transition their manufacturing business to make those medical supplies that he has asked them to make. So for instance, that could be like a car factory or something. Instead of making cars, you need to start making ventilators, hypothetically. So that's happening. So I guess if you work in a plant or a production type facility, you're gonna get busy right about now. Also, they talked a lot about stopping non-essential travel. So the travel between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, non-essential travel will no longer happen. So you can only travel if you have like a valid reason to travel between those countries. They also mentioned, which I want to learn more about, is that they mentioned 121 countries. I guess maybe where we have immigrants that we're holding, we're going to send them back. I'm still unclear about how that's going to work and how they're going to start sending people back to where they're from. I don't really know how that's going to work, but I guess throughout the day we're going to hear a lot more about that. And then he also talked about bringing in Americans who are stuck outside the country. They want to bring them back to America, and they're trying to figure out how to do that also. I actually, which is interesting, this morning when I was reading the news, before I watched the news, there are Americans stuck in, I think, Peru and Spain or somewhere, or Egypt. There are Americans stuck all over the place that cannot get out of these places because these countries have shut down incoming and outgoing flights. So they're literally stuck there. So the government will have to like charter planes to get these people out of these countries. And normally the government doesn't do things like that, but because there's so many Americans that are stuck abroad, I guess they're now considering getting Americans back home. So we'll see how that goes. And then the big thing that everyone is starting to talk about is that Trump was, or not necessarily Trump, but the task force doctors are unsure if certain medications could help fight the coronavirus. Previously, they were talking about malaria medications, but now I guess new doctors are saying no, those won't work. So they just have no idea how to cure this thing, guys. There's no cure. There's no help. It's either, it appears to me right now, either your body naturally fights it off, or it doesn't. So stay healthy. Okay, and now that that is all over, the next thing I normally do every single day is I get to work. So I'm going to open up my laptop that's sitting right beside me. I always have 3 things that I do every single day that must get done. If you have not watched that video about how I set up my day, I am going to link it above. Just click the link. But essentially, I always make sure that I do a 3-day to-do list. So today, let me see, on my to-do list, I've been kind of slacking with some of my emails. I have 4 or 5 email accounts. I know. So I'm going to sit here and make sure I read through and respond to every single person's email that I have not done so already. So that's going to take a little while. The other thing I need to do is I started a SBA application for a small business loan for disaster relief. Don't know if I'll get it, but I started it. The actual system like completely shut down yesterday. Like, I was in the middle of doing something and it just like crashed. So I put that away and I'm going to try to finish it up today. And then I don't know if I could possibly do this, but I'm going to attempt to file for unemployment. I am self-employed, but I do pay into state unemployment because I pay myself as an actual employee. So I'm going to file and see if they'll let me collect unemployment. So I'll keep you guys updated regarding that. So I just got finished doing all of my computer work in my 3 things for the day. So I'm accomplished as far as that goes. But while I was working, I got some orders in. So for those of you who don't know, I actually sell stuff on Poshmark and eBay. So people are buying on Poshmark and eBay right now. I actually just, someone just bought a leather jacket. This box down here, this is my, I sold my Wii, like an old Wii on eBay. So yeah, I boxed those up. I'm waiting for the postman to come so I can hand them off to him. And that's about it. Okay, so I actually just made some lunch. Today I had a grilled cheese sandwich and potato chips. Pretty simple. But while I was sitting there eating my lunch, I was scrolling through Facebook and I found out that Illinois is currently, it is now 1:15 and they are on the news right now issuing a shelter in place for the state of Illinois. Guys, things are happening fast. Like, I wish that just they would issue just a national shelter in place. Like, why do we have to go state by state? But whatever. Illinois and New York are today, and I'm sure, I don't know, I would put money on it that maybe Atlanta or Georgia or Texas would be next. We'll see. Okay, so it is dinner time. My mom is cooking dinner. What's for dinner? Mom, what's for dinner? So, she's not answering me. But we get HelloFresh. In HelloFresh, we are having a seared steak with demi reduction with some garlic mashed potatoes and some honey carrots. Yum. Now, I always talk about HelloFresh. And if you guys don't have HelloFresh, you're missing your whole life. Because every week, they deliver a wonderful box filled with food to your door. And it's amazing. Okay guys, so today is pretty much over. We just had dinner, and I think that everything is done for today, but today was pretty exhausting for me. So I'm a bit of an empath, like, so seeing and hearing all of the stories and everything that's going on, it is physically and emotionally draining for me. Like, literally, like, I can feel myself just, like, I'm so tired. Like, I feel like I just ran a marathon and I was sitting on the couch. Like, that's how I feel. Because this evening I was watching some stories about people who have regular medical conditions like cancer, who can't get cancer treatments now because the hospitals are overwhelmed, or people who can't do get certain medications, or they can't do their radiation because the doctors don't want to expose them to possible coronavirus stuff. So we have to think that even though the whole world is under this pandemic with this one disease, there's still so many other diseases out there that are still affecting people every single day. And so I'm concerned because now it's like, what do the people who have those type of illnesses and diseases and injuries and stuff do if the hospitals are completely overwhelmed with coronavirus patients? So it's a huge issue. It's a huge issue. I feel really deep for my frontline nurses out there. I left the hospital years ago, and I have been doing I'm still a nurse. I still work as a nurse, but I just don't do direct patient contact. So I feel for them. If push comes to shove, if things get as worse as they say, then I wouldn't mind going and helping out in a hospital, except that I fall into the high risk category because I have high blood pressure, I have asthma, and I don't want to put myself at risk. And then the second thing is, I live with my mother who has kidney disease. She's on dialysis, so I don't want to bring anything home to her. So it's just a quandary. I literally feel for everyone and everything that's going on. And I just wish that everyone would take this really, really seriously, guys, really seriously. I'm also feeling for the people, the Americans or Canadians or whoever, who are stuck in countries that they can't leave. There's this one couple who is stuck in the Philippines right now. I will link their videos below. They have a vlog. They've been trying to leave the Philippines, and there's no flights. There's no flights. They said there's over 1,000 Canadians stuck there, and they don't have anywhere to go. They're shutting down the hotels. They're rationing food. They're literally desperate to try to leave the Philippines, and they're asking anyone for help. I feel for those people. I feel for everyone out there. I really do. Yeah. I don't even know what else to say because it's literally heartbreaking right now. And then the other thing I was thinking about today was that I really hope people have their end of life situations together. I know this sounds morbid, but if they are thinking that thousands and thousands of people are going to die over the next, few months, in America specifically, do you have life insurance? Do you have burial insurance? Does your family know your last wishes? Do you have a will? Like, these are things that all of us need to think about. All of us. We need to really start considering things like that, because any day now, it can affect someone in your family. It can affect you. It can affect me, whatever the case may be. So I just really hope that we all start thinking about things like that, and we have all our ducks in a row, just in case. Hopefully we won't have to use it anytime soon, but in reality, we're all going to die one day. So it's better to get it together now than to wait too long. But that's it for today, March the 20th, I believe. And I'll be back later. Have a good night. Bye, guys.